I swear to God, when this is all over, the first thing I'm gonna do is walk into Lush, and the second the person with the bandana and the 3 nose rings and the terrifying energy comes over to me and is like, "Hi sweets, can I help?" I'm gonna be like, "Fuck yes, bitch! Fuck yes, you can help. Walk me through all these lip scrubs, Sandra. I need to know in detail." Hello, and welcome to week 2 of self-isolation. Yes, it's only week 2. Time, as a concept, is officially broken, and if you'll indulge me, I'd like to illustrate this in the form of a chart. Okay, so this X represents today, the present day, and this line represents all the time that's come before. We can split it up into various ages, you know, so there's colonial times, you know, there's yore, and of course yesteryear. So in my head, if today is here, the 90s happened yonks ago, right about here. The 90s. Scoot forward a bit to 2001, imagine Britney and Justin, double denim, that kind of era. That's like here. And then 2006 happens in my head like here. 2014 exists on an entirely different plane, like a part of me doesn't believe it actually happened. And then February 2020, in my head, happened before the 90s. Time. This week I'm supposed to be in Boston, and I know in the grand scheme of things, me missing out on a trip, you know, perspective, it's all relative, it's not huge. But I've been feeling a certain degree of, well, bummed out. I love planes, I was well excited to go on a plane. Do you know what I love more than going on planes? Being at an airport knowing I'm about to go on a plane. I love going to the airport. I love being at the airport. I love it so much that before they cancelled it, I had this dream. So in real life, my flight was a late one. So I was like, sick, so much time at the airport. And that excitement bled into my subconscious. In the dream, my mum called and she said, "Hi, I'm passing through London. Do you have time for lunch?" And I'm like, sure. So we go to a Wetherspoons. Sidebar, this is before Tim Martin crossed the line from, "Oh, you're a bit of a knobhead with shit views on Brexit, but you know what? It's a cheap and cheerful pub," to, "Oh, you're a straight up selfish git who shows nothing but contempt for your staff and suppliers who helped build your fortune. Cool, sure. We do the Wetherspoons, it's lovely. I wave off to my mum as she trains it back to the north, and then I get a call from my friend Mike and Jacob, who are at another pub, and they're like, "Hey, we haven't seen you in so long. Do you have time to hang out?" And I look at my watch and I'm like, "Sure, I haven't seen you in ages and I love you. I've got bags of time before I need to go to the airport. Let's have a drink." And I check my watch again, and because it's dream time, I have suddenly gone from having 7 hours until my flight to 3 hours. And because my subconscious likes stakes, I guess, the pub we're in is North London, and Heathrow decidedly is not. So I grab my stuff and I'm getting ready to leave, but then as I turn the corner, some guy robs my backpack, and then the chase is on and I'm running after him. I'm really going for it. Think Mission Impossible, but with 0 cardiovascular fitness. I catch him up and I grab him, and there's a tussle and my bag splits and my stuff goes everywhere, and then there's a police siren and he bolts. Money, notebook, passport, check. Where's my ticket? I look up and it's there, floating in the wind, out into traffic. Shit. I look at my watch, 2 hours left, double shit. I chase after my ticket, dodging in and out of cars, the wind taunting me by lifting it just out of reach until finally I catch it, and I check my watch, 40 minutes to get to Heathrow. Dream time. So I run into the train station, and I want to point out how much of a lame nerd I am, even when I am flat on my back asleep. You may remember I said we were in North London, specifically we were at King's Cross. When I go into the train station, my subconscious has changed it from King's Cross to Paddington because it knows that the Heathrow Express goes from Paddington. So I jump on the Heathrow Express, but the Heathrow Express gets stuck. I'm freaking out that we're gonna miss this flight. My legs start to go, everything's awful, but then finally we pull in. I run off the train, I leg it through security, and I have to run all the way to the gate. I whiz past duty free and the cafes and the bookshops, devastated that I didn't get my airport time, and I'm about to make it onto the plane when I wake up. And that very morning they announced there'd be no travel to the US from the UK. Nostradamus? Couldn't possibly say. So anyway, I'm not in Boston, I'm in my living room, and I've just ordered 3 new jigsaw puzzles. Huge. Sunday was hard. Not only was I not going to the airport, the clocks went forward and I didn't realise, and for some reason it really threw me off. It's so odd how something so innocuous can just throw you off kilter. I felt completely and utterly bleh. And I decided to just give myself that. So I stayed in my onesie and I put on a loud smashy movie and let it do its thing without me having to pay too much attention, and I did my puzzle, and that's a good day by anyone's standards, I think. I was gonna vlog the trip to Boston as well. I was really excited. Travel down in the city, so many opportunities. So tonight I thought I might watch some other people's Boston vlogs to live sort of vicariously through them. And then I started to think about what it would be like for any of my subscribers who come from Boston to see their city through my eyes. And then I realized I live in one of the tourist destinations of the world. There must be a ton of travel vlogs of people being tourists in my city, and what does London look like through the eyes of someone who doesn't see it every day and doesn't take it for granted. So instead, what I've decided to do tonight is watch videos of my home, movies that are set here and documentaries that celebrate the long and frankly ridiculous history of this lovely town. Because this situation, while it doesn't have a firm end in sight, is only for now. Avenue Q reference. And while I don't know when I'm going to get to finally visit Boston, I do know, and I can take some comfort in the fact, that when this crisis is over and we get to let out that anxious breath that we've been holding collectively for so long, London will still be here. My London. And I'm grateful for it. And I'm going to go exploring. When I moved here, this was the first book I read. It's about a guy who decided to try and understand the city by walking the length of the tube lines overground and passing every single station and looking around and seeing what he could see. After a while, it seems to me, every Londoner, whether born in the city or not, hardens in their partiality. You get to know the area you live in, and you still feel comfortable in the areas you used to live in, but there are huge chunks of the place you never go to, indeed never want to go to. Something quite parochial appears in you. It always reminds me of the Rabbi Lionel Blue joke about the Jewish guy marooned on a desert island for several years. His rescuers find that he's built 2 synagogues. We can understand you building one, they say, but why did you need a second? Simple, he replies. That's the synagogue I go to, and that's the synagogue I don't go to. Every Londoner, or one-time Londoner, needs part of the city that they don't feel comfortable in, almost as though it gives greater validity to the areas where they do feel at home. As I stood in Baker Street Station, I looked forward to challenging that instinct in myself. Like Sherlock just up the road, I was going to learn at least something about every part of the capital.